Lately, I've been warming up in a bit of a unique, unusual way. So instead of sitting down at a drum kit to warm up, what I've been doing is I've been standing up to warm up, but not playing on a snare drum or a practice pad, but I've been playing on kind of this elevated tom. And my rationale for this is kind of unique, and it comes from my very unique background as both a professional drummer and also a movement specialist, someone who helps people manage their pain, treat their pain, clean up their movement. And I first did this with athletes, and now I'm starting to do this with musicians. And this is really where the intersection of athleticism and drumming this is one of the places where they meet. So my primary reason for warming up while I'm standing is because this simple concept is that your body really adapts to positions. Easy way to say, the longer you're in a position, the more your body kind of conforms to it. So that's why after a long flight where you're crammed in a seat, you have to get up and you feel stiff and you have to move around a little bit because our tissues are becoming adaptively short and stiff from being in that cramped position for so long. I think of it like stuffing a shoe inside of a suitcase. And then when you take it out, that shoe is kind of crunched up and it takes a minute for it to kind of regain its shape. Our bodies are the same way. So, as drummers, we spend a lot of time sitting down at our instruments. We also spend a lot of time sitting down traveling to the gig. Or maybe we're eating a meal, or maybe watching TV. We spend lots of time sitting down. Now, sitting down isn't necessarily a bad thing, but if we're spending a majority of our time in that position, it can become an issue. So one of the reasons why I like to warm up standing up is because I know the majority of my time practicing behind the kit, playing behind the kit, I'm going to be sitting down. So I can kind of counteract creating those adaptively short and stiff situations where my back starts hurting, my hip, my neck even, because I'm in this rounded position. But another reason why I'm using this tom, which I'll grab this guy here again, it's just an old Yamaha tom, is again another principle about athletics is that basically your body adapts to exposure. Okay, it responds to exposure, it figures things out. So it's kind of a way of, think about if you were training for a marathon and you wouldn't run on just a totally flat course, you would run on a variety of surfaces. You'd like to run on some hills, some rolling terrain, some downhill. You're basically having your body adapt to different stimuluses. Same thing when we're talking about even football players when they're going from grass to AstroTurf and thinking about differences in how they perform on each of them. So when I'm warming up on a tom, this is actually kind of serendipitous in the sense that I didn't have a snare stand that was high enough. I didn't have a pad that day, so I just started warming up on a tom, and I noticed that my hands responded a lot differently. And it's not saying that warming up on tom is good or bad, just like on a snare is not good or bad. Even on a pillow is not good or bad. All this comes in context. Where are we applying this? Are we spending all of our time on one surface and really only developing our hand technique to play on snares? Now, granted, the majority of our time is between hi-hat, snare, ride. But we do use the toms, and I'm not saying this is to prepare for playing Wipeout or Sing 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 or anything, but this is really, I'm giving myself more colors in my palette, kind of more tools at my disposal. And if I can expose my body, my brain, my tissues to a lot of different things, it comes to that when I'm able to play, I'm able to play in a more well-rounded fashion. Just like any athlete who needs to expose themselves to strength, to speed, to stamina. We're trying to give myself, the musician, as many tools as possible and being able to be as comfortable as possible playing on as many different surfaces. So I'm not spending a lot of time standing up playing. I'm not spending a lot of time playing on this tom per se. But if I can kind of weave this into my practice routine, this really helps me keep my hips feeling a little bit more refreshed, my back feeling a little bit better. Also makes me feel a little bit more confident in my hands because I've done some variety in my training. Now, am I saying this is the answer and everything else is wrong? No. All this stuff is relative. For some people, this could be a great thing. For some people, it could be the opposite of what they need. But just kind of food for thought. Maybe think about injecting some variety into your warm-up routine so that you can perform better throughout not only your day on the drum set, but also your day as a human being.